right, everybody, welcome back. Dish with the Mish, 1 week absence. Sorry, Chase. I know it ruins your day, but we are back. I am your host, Bill Billionaire Jensen, along with our noble commissioner, Larry Salisbury. Larry, rivalry week, last week of the regular season, playoff push in full effect. How are you feeling after? Did you have a good holiday?
Oh, I had a great holiday. Yeah. Salford family, notoriously large tribe in the Spokane Valley area. Military brother and family came over as well. So it was a packed house. We did about 31 seats in local Boards by Brit. Go check it out. They do charcuterie boards. So we
Not a sponsor.
were, yeah, not a sponsor, but we were there. It was great. It was very nice. Billy Joe Harrington, excuse me. Oh my God, I just said Harrington. Billy Joe
Oh,
Gaipo. Sorry, that was her ex name.
former league
Uh,
member, Gabe Harrington.
Game Harrington, yes, his ex-wife, my eldest sister. She hosted a great party, lots of great food. I maintained my diet. I'm very proud of myself, but there was a lot of minions running around. It was probably our loudest holiday to date.
Don't you love a nice full house though, with a lot of noise, kids running around, everybody's happy, a couple fights breaking off in the backgrounds.
Yeah, we parlayed it into a mega Regal Cinema play the next day. We had like 12 people, maybe 13 people at Moana 2. We had another 7 or 8 of us at Gladiator 2. We timed it up nice. Valley Mall was busy as hell, but great holiday, great movie, a lot of games Sawbrooks had together, a few fights, pretty typical, but it was a nice holiday. How was yours?
I was great. Got to go over to Seattle and see some family. Good times had me, just me in Brooklyn after I had basketball, and so Kelly stayed here with
Hmm.
him, and so we did the divide and conquer. Brooklyn got to come back from college and see family she hadn't seen in a couple of years, so she gets to be the conquering hero. And
Uh-huh.
but we ate well, we drank well, and it was good to catch up with some folks I hadn't seen in a little while.
So half your family at Thanksgiving? Half of
Yeah,
your
well, I
immediate
mean,
family?
yeah. So Kelly and Asher stayed here and did Thanksgiving with her family
Oh,
because he had basketball, and so
right.
with Brooklyn being home and with my dad's health situation and everything, we wanted to get at
Interesting.
least a couple of us over there. So yeah, so we did the divide and conquer.
Okay, fair enough.
Playoff push in full effect, Larry.
Yeah.
You've had some side conversations with some people. How are folks feeling?
There's some high highs, some low lows. There's kind of me, maybe who's in between right now, who's just like feeling good, ready for playoffs. Not, I don't know, rivalry week, week 14. Maybe we need to rethink this next year because really this week is reserved. Although it's great timing for like the Nate Aga match because that's the pivotal match of the week and
Oh,
really of the season because it's going to determine who our eighth seed in the playoffs is and maybe who the favorite is in the chump. I don't know if that's exactly accurate, but it's got to be, they got to be one of
Ramo
the
would
top
have
couple
words
teams.
with you about that.
Rimo, it's the same reason I keep betting against him. He's just a surefire pick when I bet against him to lose, unfortunately. So, Rimo's, I don't know his playoff appearance success, but he can't afford to take many hits like this in future years. Or,
Hey,
he might be leading the rep league
Ramo,
pretty soon.
he is king of the jump. I think he's been in it
Huh?
last 3 years since he's won the trophy. I think he's been in the jump 3 years in a row, or 2 years in a row. This would be his third.
Champ to chump. Well, both,
Champ to
as
jump.
we know, are great resume items.
Is it though?
No, but some people think that it is. Yeah.
Dong Gong ringing loud and proud. Week 13. Uh,
Yeah.
Gets out there, takes the kitty. Big matchup against. Was he against Hef last week? I believe.
He took down Chase last week, and
Oh,
Chase put
Chase
up a
last week.
very, my favorite team in the league, put up a very nice score. But yeah, echoes of the Dong Gong from early in the season rang loud, rang true. And both him and Sock, although that's a spicy matchup this week, both are looking pretty good for the playoffs. Both have good points, both have good teams. Um, we're not doing pick'ems yet, but the Dongers maybe are just getting a little bit fortunate as their team's coming back around. Maybe less to do with their fantasy prowess and more to do with just sheer luck. But hey, he'll take it.
It was so great this week watching the big show highs and lows. So coming off the kitty, very high. Christian McCaffrey gets hurt, very high.
Yep.
Jordan Mason jumping around. I got him. We're getting texts and IMs, and
Hmm.
he's like, Jordan Mason's back. And then Jordan Mason also goes on the IR, and he has two fab dollars, so he has no chance to get the backup to the backup to the backup.
Yeah.
And Big Show, big downs again.
Yeah. Wow. That backfield's taken some lumps this year. You had Elijah Mitchell go down real early. McCaffrey comes up with Achilles tendonitis that takes him out. Who knows how long? Comes down to PCL injury. Jordan Mason we just heard maybe he had a little bump on the noggin, and then all of a sudden, boom, high ankle sprain, IR. I feel like teams are very quick to pull the IR trigger this year. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, except for Brisker, who got a concussion and then sat on the bench for 5 weeks and then went on IR. So yeah,
Yeah. No, okay, there are some exceptions out there, but I feel like, especially on my IDP side, people just pew, IR, 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 IR. And then it's just like, oh, okay, well, 4 weeks. But no, this might actually be career ending, and we don't know if this guy's ever coming back. There's not one scrap of news on Christian Harris in the world right now. I have found so much news on Christian Harris's that aren't in the NFL just by searching. I found one little tidbit on X, and it's only because I DM'd John Macri directly, and he led me to a link where a guy had posted something about him, but it was a non-update.
I did see you post directly on X. I did see you're asking like, "Where's Christian? Any news at
Macri,
all?"
please give me some tidbits. And he's just like, well, this guy said something, and it was just a nothing
Yeah,
burger.
just chasing down the ghost of Christian Harris.
DMing IDP celebrities just to get just a taste of what's going on. My IDP IR is stacked. If any of those
It
guys come
is
back, I'm in great shape. But
a great playoff run IDP if they ever come back. You know, you get Greenlaw,
it's
you
a
get
big if.
JOK, you get Christian Harris. So yeah, you got some.
Greenlaw, there's a glimmer of hope there. Christian Harris,
Yeah.
a glimmer of hope. JOK, I don't love to read the news on him. The only things I've found on him is that it could be career ending in addition to season ending.
Well, so I mean, you should jump on that Diabate trade offer you had earlier this week, then, right?
No, 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 no. Can't take buys and less value in a trade. That just doesn't work for me.
So, we mentioned the Dong Gong reading loud. Does that mean no buys equals big scores equals big show?
Yeah, the biggest of
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah. Looking at, so we had a couple great matchups week 13. Eddie's and Grizz come back down to the wire. He did some tackles on a Monday night to get over Grizz after he had a just terrible garbage time versus me of Lamar and Mike Evans just stacking like 40 points in like last 2 minutes in overtime of the week. So made me sweat a little bit. Maybe
Yep.
had to get a little have to get a little of my Monday night guys to go. I was hoping for a nice easy week.
Some
Uh,
minor weeping willies were made after Grizz was coming back. I think you were still in good shape. There were some minor dubs out there.
I mean, if there's anything I ever say, I get accused of a weeping willie. If I ever say it's like, oh man, that sucked. I got some garbage times that I hate garbage. Well, you're
It's true about anything. You compliment
yeah,
somebody and you're ogging them. You're
yeah,
like, well, that fucking sucks, and you're getting weeping willie. But
weeping
hey,
willie, yeah.
the stigma's there for a reason. So
I'm riding a 5 game winning streak. Fuck it all. Whatever,
yeah.
whatever gets me there goes. And I'm gonna take this
No
this
one's
this.
saying it's not a good strategy, by the way. And no one's saying you have to admit to it either.
Uh, I want to take this time. Can we get some soft music playing here? Maybe.
Hmm.
Can you,
Yeah.
can you add
I'll
that in
cue
a
it
little
up.
bit? A
I'll
little.
cue it up.
I want to. I just want a heartfelt apology to Brian Hogger. You're right. I made the playoffs. Amazing. But I bet you wish you weren't right because now you got to win this week.
That's not an apology. That was rude.
It was
You
very
owe the
rude.
man. He
I'm
was
very
just trying to
sorry.
be nice.
I'm
He's,
just trying to be nice. Go win this week, Aga. I'd love to see you in the playoffs. If not, you can run that jump back and save yourself $1,000.
that's true. I think the league needs him to be in the playoffs. Because, well, number one, because Nate doesn't give a shit and doesn't want to be in the playoffs, doesn't want anything. I don't know what he wants. He didn't even say nice job when I sent him the pictures of us doing well in the betting league. He said nothing.
Oh,
So
nothing.
rude. After
Uh,
he tanked my own betting season a couple of years ago on SOB.
Betting league update. Larry, you and I gone from out of money up to first place in
Yep.
the betting league, unseating the Donger
I know the
on the
Dongers
big
in
show.
second place. And by the way, for the
Yeah,
people listening, this is a betting league that is over 100 people in it. You're basically doing Vegas style bets on pro NFL games or college football games. You get 10,000 shares to do with what parlays, teasers, straight up bets, whatever you want. And people rebuy as well. The current pot, I'm not even going to say the amount, but it's
significant.
over. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's over. I'm not even going to say it.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
five digits, so I'll give you that much. Five
Let's
digits.
just say significant. Just
Yeah.
in case there's any IRS agents listening. Hey,
That's
we don't
true.
need to.
Yeah, but we currently have big stack in that league, and that feels good because we can push around, the small stacks, make some good bets. But right now, it's
Make
about
them
preserving what we have. not expanding.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. We're probably play a little safe right now until we have to jump in a little bit. But these,
We've gotten good at four leg teasers. We've gotten really good at them.
yeah, some of these guys are crazy bettors, though, man. Like it
They are.
is. I mean, they're throwing some crazy money out there trying to hit these big parlays.
Yep.
We're kind of taking a little bit more of the slow and steady rate, and we're accelerated with our 4 game our 4 game teasers, and
Yeah.
coming
Threw
up.
out a nice little $10,000 bet on the Sunday night game that, by the grace of God, hit with that snowball game. We took the under, and it was very nearly the over. It was they were running backs
Uh,
were just lighting up the field.
thank God we teased it.
I know.
Thank God we teased it.
Yeah, parlay's so much harder to hit. Tease the way to go.
Some fun games this last week. Can we just talk about the Monday night game? Jameis, Judy, just a losing effort, but how entertaining was that?
I think Jameis individually is the most entertaining person in the league. He gave a great pregame speech. Can't repeat some of the words that he said on there because one, I'm not black, and two, this is meant for children too. My kids listen to
Yeah.
this, even though we end up swearing a ton. But then his presser afterwards, talking about how, I sent out the quote to the league, which by the way got no likes, no nothing. I think people thought I was making that up, but he's
No,
praying for the Lord to save him from some pick
uh,
sixes. And I was like,
sixes.
oh my God, Andy Dalton needed that back in the day.
I did comment on X and not on and I
That
think
was
Kellen
hilarious.
posted it there, so I probably took it for, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Kellen got credit for your great find.
It was a wonderful line. I watched it live on ESPN. I laughed out loud, sent it that night, and it's just like that was the one of the single greatest lines I've ever heard.
That was a very entertaining game, and the Broncos and Bo Nix, who you called early, and I told you were a fool after preseason. Then it looked like I was a genius, and then you ended up being the genius because Bo Nix has looked great. Bo Nix
All
has
I
looked great.
really think about him then and now is that he's game. He's out there and he's
Yeah.
he's got, I don't know, whatever you call that attribute, where it just looks like at any moment he could make a big impact on the game. He doesn't look scared of the moment, that's for sure. So he's going to make mistakes, but he's out there
Well,
slinging.
he's a grown ass man. He's like 47, I think. I mean, he
Is,
played in
is he an
college.
old
I
rookie?
feel like I think he was playing in college when I was in junior high still. So, Auburn and Alabama or Oregon. He was moving around. I just felt like he was in college football forever.
He's got Denver fans feeling hopeful, right? Like he's
Yeah.
opposite of Bengal fans right now. Like I'm hopeful that we have a wonderful quarterback, but I'm pessimistic about every other part of the organization.
Going back to Jameis, I think it's semifinal week for us, so that must be week 15. Cincinnati versus Cleveland. Jameis might break. It might be
Week
seven
16. Yep.
touchdowns, five pick sixes. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be amazing.
Does Big Show have the nuts to play him that week is the question. Over Bo
I mean,
Nix.
he did
Aforementioned
pick
Bo Nix.
who?
Yeah.
Ooh, I think you have to play any quarterback in Cincinnati defense right now, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. If you have Cooper Rush for whatever reason, you better be playing him Monday night. I'm going to be watching him live in Dallas. Suck on that, Chase. Sorry, I love you. You're my favorite team, but I'm going to be there and you're not. So I'm the better fan.
Ooh, and it's at Cowboy Stadium.
That's
So,
right. Jerry
Chase.
World.
Ooh. Kind of a slower trade for our week for trades this week. Saw a couple. You and Aga
Yeah.
did a little bench swap today.
Mhm.
I think you saw Aga messaged you that you got two of his guys for $0. He was pissed, and I think you saw he got a guy after that you liked better, and so you gave those two guys for the other.
Yeah, I don't know if I liked him better, but just the single game output when he was getting snaps, I think was more promising than the guy that I had picked up from Tampa. So just to put this out there, we figured this out several weeks ago and we had $0 bids competing against each other. Went and looked up the rule, and Fantrax kind of rule by default is the earliest bid. We do that in our NBA league too. So earliest bid in, if it's the same, gets it. I think I put it out there that I'd be open to changing that to like
Yeah,
lowest, seeded team. That totally makes sense, but nobody seemed particularly interested. So next year we can definitely update that. But as of now, get your bids in early. And even if you creep your bids, that doesn't reset it. You can
it's
creep your
the
bids
when
and it
you
won't
first put
reset
it
the
in.
clock. Yep. It's
Yeah,
whenever you first put it in. So get your bid in and then creep it up as you will, and you'll still be in good shape.
and then just right before this pod went on the air, Kyle and Sock, Rico Dowdle for Jack Campbell.
Yeah, I don't love that. I mean, I know can put it out there that he wanted an IDP asset. He wants to beat Grizz. He's
Yeah,
earnest about that. He wants to take him down in week 14. Both of those are non-playoff teams. So him and I were working some deals for the current DMVP favorite, I think, in Zach Bond. but
Yeah.
just couldn't make it happen. It's hard for me to lose those points, and it just wasn't working. I was trying to get assets for the future. He couldn't take buys this week. I was really looking to take on more buys this week, and then get value. But we mentioned this earlier. Og and I were working some angles, but I can't take buys and less value in a trade. And his, unfortunately, and I know this is more than just me, but I'll say just me, my value and his value just don't align this year, and they're not actually really even close. So just is that it's just that way some years.
Yeah. Trade deadline, get them in next
Next
Wednesday.
Wednesday, 11.
Next Wednesday, the 11th.
Hmm.
Trade deadline is in effect. So right before playoffs kick off in earnest, get those trades in and done. You won't be able to make them in the playoffs. So
Yeah, I don't know what time of day that is. Let me see if it tells me. The last day at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be basically when waivers
9
clear.
o'clock.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So get those trades in and done. Anything else that caught your eye in week 13?
For last week, there were some good matchups. I think I did really poor in pick'ems last week. We're kind of just we didn't do the pods. We're shooting from the hip, and I
Yeah.
just was looking at names. Let's delete that week from the pick'ems
Oh,
record. I think we're all okay with
I
that.
think we should keep that week.
Oh well, if you
Actually,
want, okay, you can have it with an asterisk. I'll allow it.
yeah.
But Chase, just so you know, I'm better than that. Okay, I'm better.
But did you bet on Chase? I think we both bet on Chase, and he let us down.
He did well.
Let us down with the Dongers. I mean, he put up a great score. I mean, he a valiant effort by Chase, but
His team has been putting up very good scores, and he's still the kitty leader on the year with three
three of
kitties.
them.
Big show up to two kitties. Oh, I didn't send out my weekly recap this week yet with everything else, but the survivor winner, I guess we can call out two Hef,
Yeah,
deservedly
congratulations,
so.
Hef.
Yep, round of applause. Paid him
Uh,
his $140 just a few minutes ago, so he should have that in his wife's Venmo account.
yeah.
I'm
Oh,
assuming that's who it is. Because Half and Chase very hard to do cash apps with. They have frozen accounts. There's a lot of moving parts with those two. I don't know what they're up to, but Half, if you have access to it, there's $140 waiting for you.
just so we know, so the wife doesn't take that off. You earned that survivor money,
Yeah, go
fair and
take it
square.
quick, and unless it's going to be taken elsewhere.
So on to rivalry week. As you mentioned, Kyle and Kuhn very much wanting to beat each other this week. Both
They do.
playing for both, out of the playoffs, but both
Hmm.
playing hard for a rivalry week win.
Pride, side bets, overall record, something you and I still have up in the air too. Uh, I'm not going to be the guy that says I'm punting this week. I'm not going to be that guy. Some other people,
Even
actually, everybody else is saying that, but not
you might
me.
have said it
I'm still going
75
to
times
try.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but not me. Yeah,
yeah.
but I'm still going to try. But I let you choose my quarterback this week, which is very sporting of me and should buy me, I think, something nice in terms of if I owe you something after this rivalry week because I'm up currently about 30, 40 points on you from our first matchup, I believe.
45 points.
45
45
points.
points.
So you got to beat me and make up that difference
I do.
to win whatever our bets are. I don't even know what our bets are, but
Yes. When you mentioned that maybe week 14 is not the way to go for rivalry week, what if we did it mid-season back to back?
I don't know. I would like to do it.
Oh,
So if we look ahead I think the smart thing next year is find out which have no bye weeks. Like week 13 this year had no bye weeks.
yeah.
So that makes sense to do it then go week 14 for something else. I don't know. I don't know if
Week one,
there's
no
a
bye
perfect way to
weeks.
do
We
it.
start off with our rivals too.
Yeah, because week 5 did have some buys too. In fact, I traded around
Yeah,
so I'd be in good shape. I did the opposite of what I did this time
yeah.
around versus you. I really want to be in good shape for playoffs, which we've talked about. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's a perfect way to do it, but looking ahead next year, we'll find some good weeks where people have more guys available. I think that makes sense.
So the most consequential matchup of the week comes down to Nate and Aga. We talked a little bit about this
Mm,
earlier.
hmm.
Both teams started fast, kind of faded. Maybe a little matchup luck in there for each of them as their points are a
Yeah,
little bit lower. But it kind of caught up with them, and now it's you got to win and you're in. So you need Aga, you need Nate. They need wins this week, and
they do. Yeah.
the losers onto the chump round. So
Yeah, I mean, I really wish Nate cared a little bit more this year. This would add to it a little bit. He's full on deleted the Woo thread off of his phone. He doesn't even have that on anymore. So that was hurtful for him to say to me, in addition to other things recently. But
uh, Nate, bad owner this year. Just gonna say it.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's just I love him, great guy. Just bad owner this year. Just doesn't care.
maybe he'll be working here next year. and he'll be back in, and it'll be the best version of Nate we've ever seen. You and him will be the new Aga Nate dynamic, where you're basically swapping each week just so each team can be better versus a certain guy. Like that's how they used to do it. So I'd love to see that.
Multiple trades and back and forth, the same guys week after week, and
Grizz
yeah.
multiple times. Commish, collusion, come on, you know what they're doing. It's just like, well, I don't think either one of them were smart enough to do it like perfectly, but
Was Grizz or Ruxin back in the day?
yeah,
Collusion.
there he was collusioning me all the time over text, all the time.
We had a little we had a little sadness in our text thread this, our off text threads,
Yeah.
when I complained about garbage time and sent host on a little tirade. So I wanted to get a
Oh
little
yeah.
moment of silence for him today. And, he complained about his injury luck and how bad everything is for him.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
the only team experiencing injury luck this year, we feel really terrible for our friend
It's
host.
the only
Like,
one. Yeah.
I mean, and to lose such impact players as Devonte Adams or Devonte Smith
Smith
and Tajay
momentarily.
Spears momentarily.
Yeah,
That's
he
nothing
have
for the
Rasheed
season.
Rice too. He's had
Yeah,
some. I counted mine, and
yeah.
I've lost five guys for the year as well. I don't know how that stacks up against his, but it's for me. I just made pivots, right? Like I just traded for Austin Eckler. He was going to be my prize last flex possession for my playoff run, and then boom, out for
Long
the year.
coveted Austin
I
Eckler.
wanted him all year. Finally, I'm gonna give up Jaden Reed, who's a really great boomer bust last flex guy to have in there. I got some waiver dollars out of it too, so I can't complain too much. But I feel like every time I make a trade this year, Alex Singleton, these guys just they don't like playing for me very long. They get hurt quick. They know our long term benefits are great in the Slam franchise, and they're just taking full advantage.
And losing the MVP at the time, Aiden Hutchinson,
Lost
mid
Aiden
sack,
Hutchinson for the year.
mid
Yeah,
sack.
I know that one hurt.
Uh,
JOK lost him in week 8 for the year. What looks like the year. So I've taken my lumps this year, particularly on the IDP side, and we just keep trucking through.
well, hopefully, host can get it together with his rivalry with Jesse this week because no one deserves it more than him with his terrible luck. And host, we feel so sorry for you. And
We'll cue the sad music a second time this
yeah,
pod. Yep.
tears are shed. So, Larry, you mentioned you may have a little PSA you wanted to talk about today. So I wanted to give you a little time for
You know,
talking.
I think I already hit on it. It's just like, when we're making trades this year, we've had several trade PSAs this year. Like, get on the same page in terms of value before you start sending things. That's number one. Number two, if you are giving the guy buys that same week, they have to get better value. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like the trade offers I got this time around, I was getting less value and getting buys. And you know me, willing to take on buys from anybody, if nothing else, just to do them a nice favor. But couldn't do it this week and lose my ass on value. So big apologies.
Yeah, it always comes down to it. Look at what your other player needs. Like, right, if you want to make a good trade, figure out what else. Don't if a guy's stacked running back, why are you going to offer him a running back like he doesn't need it? Like,
Yeah.
come on, we gotta think through some of that stuff.
And for anybody listening, over the next week, especially if you're not in the playoffs, Zach Bond's available. I mean, I was thinking about trading Kyle today, 50 waiver dollars and a low end IDP asset for Bond. It was just getting ahead of myself. I really cut the fab dollars right now, but he's still out there. If somebody wants to come get the DMVP, come get him. Just don't come for less value than he's worth. His points are out there, 27 a game. So, do me the
So
favor of replacing those points in the trade.
you want the waiver dollars, so you hope to pick up somebody that is Zach Bond like.
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say that is because if I elevate Frankie Luvu to where he is now, I lose 5 or 6 points a game, which is survivable. But then I can go get whoever the top IDP asset is the next week. So if Troy Dye works out and he's the guy, and like I've already obtained him. But if Roquan goes down tomorrow and Malik Harrison's sitting out there for whatever reason because he's back to being a trash bag when Roquan's playing, maybe I go get him. Something like that. I want to stay agile during the playoffs, and when there's no
Okay,
trades to be had, having a few dollars could make a big difference. And right now, Jesse is in the driver's seat there, and I don't want him to be. So
you want those dollars.
I just want to be in the driver's seat, Bill.
You
I've,
want to
I've
you want to
taken control
control
of
it.
my playoff destiny as much as you can, and I know you can't at the end of the day, but I still want that just monicum of control.
So, getting to waiver wires, it was a pretty slow week on waiver wires as a lot of $0 bids, a lot of people are,
Yeah,
dab budgets are dwindled and down to down to the felt. So we did have one big spender. Kyle has been saving those waivers dollars, for
Yeah.
a nice playoff run. No, sorry, Kuhn, you are not in the
Ooh, yeah. Sorry,
playoff.
buddy.
But he does get the man of the hour, Isaac Garindo from
Hmm.
Kansas City
Good pickup.
for $38.
San Francisco.
Or
Yep.
San Francisco. Gosh, San Francisco. Larry, do you know where Mr. Garindo went to college?
Isaac Rendo?
Yeah.
Can you give me a conference?
No.
Would it be a giveaway or you just don't know the conference?
It would probably be maybe give it away.
I'm gonna guess. Is it? Well, can you tell me West Coast or East Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast. I'm gonna
It's
guess
kind of middle of the country.
middle of the country. Okay, so Midwest. Give me
It's close.
Wisconsin.
It's no
No. Where?
Louisville.
Louisville. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no,
Nice.
Kentucky. I had no idea. He's a rookie this year. I had no idea where he played. I'd never heard of him before this year. So
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to look it up, and I was like, I wonder if anybody knows where he went to college. I have no
My
clue.
family loves playing this game with me because usually I can come up, like if it's a relatively well-known player, I'll typically know their college, and they all think it's
Yeah,
just like the nerdiest shit ever that I know that
yeah.
Joe Flacco went to the University of Delaware and so
Yeah.
Isaac Grindle was not familiar with this game, unfortunately.
No, I don't think many people are. But hey, good pickup because he will have a pretty big place in that Niners offense
Yeah.
going forward. Which,
Oh,
as
billionaire.
yep.
I was partially right. He played
Okay.
college football for the Wisconsin Badgers and the Louisville Cardinals.
Oh, wow,
What
wow,
are the odds of that?
damn, Larry.
Interesting. Okay. You
Okay,
said middle of the country, and nothing's more Midwest to me than Wisconsin. So maybe
so
Nebraska.
transferred from Wisconsin to
I
Louisville. I just
guess. I
saw
don't
he
know.
graduated from Louisville. So
Well, we'll have to read that story sometime on our another segment. Reading with Bill
uh,
and Larry.
Big Show picks up Jameis for $1. I think. I mean, what like you said, the most entertaining player in football right now
Yeah,
is
great
is
pickup,
is
especially
Jameis.
this time of year. He's slanging. He's fun to watch. He's revived that Browns, fan base a little bit. Just to go out and watch some offense. That's nice when you've hung your hat on defense for so long, and then you had to suffer through the Deshaun Watson era. It's nice that Winston's doing Tampa Bay Winston things for the city of Cleveland.
I think City of Cleveland loves him for it too.
Oh,
Uh,
for
I
sure.
bring I bring my guy Josh Metellus home for $2 this week as well.
I had a $0
Just
bet on him. Yeah.
I mean, especially with Pace being out, and he seems to kind of take a little bit more of that linebacker role.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he was so good for me last year. I just hope I can get a little of that magic back again
Should
for
we
a
do a
playoff run.
very, very quick rundown of the claim budget remaining?
Yes.
Little Ass Boys leader, $37. Kyle, despite giving up some dollars and spending some dollars, $22. We then arrive at the Eagle Ridge Eddies at $9. We have $6 for the Indian Trail Slumlords, $5 for the Saltese Slam, and then some stragglers back there. There's a $4 Morningside Muff Dives, a couple $3 for the Valley Old Goats, then We Will Sack You. So some people in the playoffs do have a few dollars, but it's mostly going to be like dollar bids moving forward. Except for
Yeah.
Jesse, driver's seat. Like I said, I want it. I want the driver's seat.
Jesse. And I think, as our final standings are coming into view here, the Little Ass Boys ascend with their points. The record finally gets them back up to kind of where I think they should
Hmm.
have been all along. Kind of
Scary, scary team heading into the
yeah.
playoffs,
That 4-5 matchup is not anything you want to be a part of if he ends up in that 4 seat.
which could very well be me. If Chase wins this weekend
Yeah.
and I lose, he's going to have me on points. So that would move me to four, most likely move him up. So, well, I don't know. It just depends. Like if Gavin wins, then, things could shake out any which way. I don't know. But right now he's at four. So I think that would actually could bump me down to five. I don't know.
Oh.
But either way, you got to win in the playoffs. Doesn't really matter. I positioned myself well as much as I could. So here we go.
So let's get into matchups this week. Rivalry week, round two.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get who you like. So we'll start off Kyle and Grizz. What are you feeling?
Cal and Grizz, let's take a look at the matchup here. Kyle obviously making moves to beat Grizz this week. There's some bias to contend with. Kyle's convinced he doesn't need a tight end. He's told me that multiple times today as I've tried to ship both Will Disley and Evan Ingram over to him. But he's got the IDP asset that he wanted in Jack Campbell. He rolls out Thursday night, and if you're going to have a Thursday night player, in my opinion, it's on the IDP side of the ball, so that's nice. Grizz still running his double Chicago linebacker. He didn't even play Al Shair. I guess, the last week or two when he was healthy, and now he loses him for 3 games. So I am looking at a ton of red flags, not only for the owner, but on his team with players. Give me Kyle. Give me Kyle this week.
As we're still playing catch up on my part, I'm going to jump on the opposite side here and take Grizz. It is a
Hmm.
lot of red flags on this team, though. Jesus, one, two, three, four, five. Ooh, five all on offense. So,
Yeah.
Grizz, let's get healthy. Let's get out and let's resume your dominance over Kyle.
Okay.
Second matchup: Sock versus Big Show. Big heavy hitters, two playoff teams going at it.
Yeah. Can you imagine if these two face right back to back weeks? It'd be their third matchup of the year. I don't know if how the numbers are going to work out. And Big Show loses. I think that could be a possibility. If he wins, then they probably stay on the same side of the bracket and wouldn't face each other until potentially semifinals or finals. Just looking at it here, I have really rolled with the We Will Sack use this year. There's been some times where I picked against Gavin. He wasn't happy about it. I happened to be right those times when I did. This week, I love the pickup, the last second pickup for Sack with Rico Dowdle. He's playing Monday night. I get to go watch him live. I get to watch half of Sack's team on Monday night with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. So I'm going to be rooting for Sack on Monday night. I'm just going to go with him. So give me We Will Sack you, and I think you're happy to take the Dongers if I had to guess.
I missed on the Dongers last week going with Chase, and he didn't let us forget about it.
You don't miss a Donger very often, so that's
Yeah,
surprising to hear.
I'm jumping on the Dongers this week, unlubed, sitting right on it.
Ooh, okay, going for it.
Third matchup, the Hold Your Pocket Bowl is Chase versus Towner.
Yeah, I mean, give me Chase. His team is I can't even say it jokingly anymore. His team's good. He's been putting up points week over week. I have no reason to doubt him anymore. I mean, when I go look at it on paper, it does give me reasons to doubt him, but versus Towner, it's just for me, it's a slam dunk. This is going to be Chase top, Towner bottom.
I agree with you on this one, and I bet with Chase last week and he let me down, but I'm going to do it again this week, and I think we'll both jump on Chase over Towner.
Yeah, Towner, a lot of buys. Haven't seen much activity out of him. Think he's written the year off.
Yeah, Jesse versus Host, the brother-in-law bowl.
Well, for me, another no-brainer. Looks like the pocket agents are hurting both in real life, with their injury situation as well as this. I will say I got to give him a bit of credit. He's been sending me fake Big Show health updates, which are really just himself. The man's been very active. He's been running, he's been walking. So in terms of his personal fitness, all systems nominal. In terms of fantasy football, he could not be sadder, and I'm taking the little last place.
All right, I'm hate to do it, but I'm not going to vote. It's not all season
No,
this season.
not
I
all
think we,
season,
we
not
found
this year.
out. And the little ass boys, even with the loss of Christian McCaffrey, it looked pretty damn good. I'm going to go with
Also, the
Jesse.
most inactive podcaster in the Inland Northwest.
What are you talking about? We're going to do a pod what every week for the last 5 weeks, and
Win pod,
nothing happens.
win pod, Kellen, win
Yeah,
pod.
win pod indeed. Uh, Pretty good matchup. This next one with Hef and Rimo, two joints and a 40 bowl.
Yeah, I have not picked Rimo very often this year. I don't feel any guilt over it, both in the past and now. So give me Hef one more time. Hef's a playoff team. His team looks like it's in pretty decent shape this week. I love Kamara, love ETN. It doesn't look like he has Henry this week, so that's his one big vulnerability. But love his IDP assets this year. Wouldn't be shocked to see Rimo come win this one, but I'm just going to take the goats just to be on the right side of the pick'ems here.
I'm gonna go opposite in this one. I think it's close enough where I have to take the other side of this one, and I'm gonna go
Hmm.
Rimo. I think Rimo, even with how Nate and Ago run out, I think he may be our favorite in the chump going forward. I think Rimo has a decent team, just had some bad luck this year.
I have a bold prediction. Jerry Jeudy coming off his career best game. I think he goes down to almost no activity this week. I think Rimo can't catch him on the right week, and I think it bites him again at Pittsburgh versus Joey Porter Jr. I'm thinking it's going to be a stinker for Jeudy.
So you haven't seen Judy since Jameis has been in, have you? Have you looked at his numbers since Jameis has been in?
Oh yeah, I saw him. I watched him Monday night.
He's been great, and yeah, I don't think he matches
I
last week.
just think he gets his ass shut down in Pittsburgh.
I think he's 10 points or more. So I bet
10 points more? Yeah, that's pretty low. You want to go 12?
11 and call it good.
Okay. That's
Uh,
that's bad. That's
side bet.
yeah,
Side bet.
done.
All right. Last two matchups of the rivalry week. Let's start with the Eddies versus the Slam.
Ooh. Well, this week and in recent weeks, I've been trying to pick myself more, and it has willed me back to some wins, minus the one versus the really beleaguered pocket agents. I'm going to take the Eddies all day in this one. Like I said earlier, I'm not saying I'm punting this week, but I have designed myself to have buys this week. It's going to be you, and I'm going to say it's by 43 points.
Ooh. I'm going Eddies. And I'm going Eddies in a blowout.
I would too.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna set ourselves up for a nice little playoff run and keep that little 5 game win streak. Let's move it up to 6 going into the playoffs.
Yeah. Eddies love a good
As,
blowout. One of your favorite filters on
abs
Pornhub.
absolutely. Absolutely. And then last and most consequential matchup of the season.
Yeah.
Aga versus Nate.
This one, and honestly, probably the closest on paper that I can see here too, just looking at it. I'm gonna do an auger real quick. It looks like we got less than a minute. So we're gonna go real quick on this one. Uh, give me Agatron just barely. I think he threads the needle. He gets through. He gets into the playoffs. Give me Aga.
I think Aga is going to win this too, but it is close enough. I'm going to go Nate. Nate, I hope you're managing it well this week, and I hope you want to win this. So
Fair enough.
fair enough. That's it. I know we're running short on time, so have a good week, everybody. Rivalry week, beat your rival, and root for me to knock that slam out.
Go Slam.